Poor people. Lazy, right? Wrong.
Oh great, Francesca Ramsey, my favorite person in the entire world.
Today we're going to debunk 5 common and super wrong myths about poverty in the US. Myth 1. Poor people.
Actually, I'm not going to go point through point here. I'm just going to call Francesca Ramsey out. In my view, Francesca Ramsey does not give a rat's ass about poor people. Rather, she seems obsessed with impressing the world by speaking on behalf of all poor people in an effort to show everyone how great of a person she is.
I'm a good person, yes, it's true. I'm a good person, better than you.
Because as we all know, the biggest hardship that poor people in America have to deal with is the struggle of dickhead generalizations. You ever notice how the PC police and social justice warriors never offer any advice to people on how to avoid or escape poverty?
I'm helping you.
It's interesting. People like Tom Leykis and Aaron Clarey, who are often lauded and dismissed as sexist, misogynist assholes and whatnot, and I guess in all fairness, both of them do wear the asshole badge pretty proudly, but Tom Leykis does a segment on his radio show every week called Money Monday, where he gives his listeners free financial advice. This means a lot coming from a guy who grew up dirt poor in the Bronx in New York City to become a self-made multi-millionaire who now owns 2 houses in the state of California. Aaron Clarey has published multiple books on how to avoid and escape poverty and does a recurring segment on his YouTube channel called Asshole Consulting, where he gives customers financial and life advice. These 2 sexist, misogynist assholes are doing a greater service for poor people than virtue signaling knuckleheads like Francesca Ramsey.
Today we're going to debunk 5 common and super wrong myths about poverty in the US.
Sorry, Francesca, people can't buy food with your busted myths. If Francesca Ramsey really wanted to help people stay out of poverty, wouldn't it be a great idea to encourage people to use birth control and avoid having kids, given that unprepared parenthood is one of the leading causes of poverty? This is something that Tom Leykis frequently talks about on his show. Francesca could make a video encouraging people to wait until they're financially ready, married, and comfortable in their career to start a family and have kids. But no, instead we get stupid talking points like this.
Myth 5. Being poor in America is better than being poor anywhere else.
If Francesca Ramsey really cared about preventing kids from living a life of struggle, wouldn't it be a great idea to discourage kids from going to college unless they knew for sure what they want to study and they were confident that their degree would be marketable? This is something that Aaron Clarey covers in his book, Worthless. At the very least, Francesca could do a video explaining how going to community college rather than a 4-year university right out of high school can save people tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Or she could warn against useless degrees or useless studies that might not guarantee a well-paying job after college. But no, instead we get stupid talking points like this.
Myth 3. If poor people just studied harder and went to college, they'd be fine.
Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book.
If Francesca Ramsey was genuinely concerned about helping out poor people, wouldn't it be a good idea to encourage people to work as many jobs as possible? Not as many hours, but as many jobs as possible. It's like what billionaire Mark Cuban said. Look at a job as an opportunity to get paid to learn something new. Because with every new job, you will likely learn a new skill, which will open up doors and opportunities for higher paying work in the future. But no, instead we get nonsense like this.
Myth 1. Poor people are just lazy. If they worked harder, they wouldn't be poor.
When you don't do the job right, you don't get paid.
If Francesca Ramsey really cared about helping people avoid poverty, Wouldn't it be a great idea to discourage drug use? After all, drugs can be very expensive, addicting, hazardous to one's health, which can lead to other costs in life. Drugs can also result in a criminal record, which looks really bad on a job application. Drugs can also discourage employers from hiring people, given that a lot of companies still drug test job applicants. Avoiding drug use is a great way to stay out of poverty, but no, Francesca thought it was more important to give us a useless talking point like this.
Here's an idea. Maybe we should start drug testing the rich people who come up with these laws in the first place. Oh wait, that's right. The Supreme Court has already ruled that it's literally unconstitutional to drug test members of Congress and applicants for political office, because that makes sense.
I'm helping! I'm helping! I'm helping you!
Anytime poor people are presented in the media, it's usually poor black people in the cities. And this stereotype sucks for everybody. Black people are made out to be something that they're really not, and poor white people aren't cared about at all. The only time a camera ever shows up in places where I'm from is if they're there to film an episode of Cops.
Yeah, it's not like the white redneck meth addicts that you see on Cops are living like the Kardashians.
I'm helping! I'm helping!
If Francesca Ramsey really wanted to prevent people from falling on tough times, wouldn't it be great to encourage people to save their money or look into investing in stocks or a retirement fund rather than wasting their money on useless shit like overpriced clothing or tattoos or other things that don't get a return on investment? And to be clear, I have nothing against tattoos. I love me some Suicide Girls. But what do you think would look better at age 50? The sleeve you got inked at age 24? Or your fat ass stock portfolio that you started with the money that you would have spent on your sleeve? Money! Wouldn't it be great to discourage people from buying houses and cars they can't afford? No. What would really help poor people is if we bust a bunch of stupid myths. Sorry, Francesca, you can't pay the bills with virtue signals.
Thanks for trying, though.
Come to think of it, I'm sure even Ty Lopez has gotten more people out of poverty than Francesca Ramsey. But again, in my opinion, Francesca Ramsey doesn't care about poor people. She just tries to make it look like she cares about poor people just so that everyone will think she's this wonderful person.
Being poor is not a moral failing. It doesn't mean you're any less hardworking or any less deserving of reaching your dreams. And maybe the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can start finding better ways to pull people out of poverty.
If you want to not be permanently poor in the United States, it's actually very easy. This is a wonderful country. If you don't want to be permanently poor in the United States, you need to do 3 things. Finish high school, get a job, don't get pregnant before you get married. That's it.
You know who's back up in this motherfucker?
If you really want to get out and stay out of poverty, then you really ought to listen to sexist, misogynist assholes like Tom Leykis and Aaron Clarey, who offer much better advice and solutions than the feel-gooders over at MTV News.